We recently saw the list of all EuroLeague 25, and your name wasn't there surprisingly. And do you think you should be on this list?
100%. Obviously, I didn't make it a bigger deal, but I think if you look at everything I've done, there's no way, in my opinion, that I should not be on that list.
How was it, to come in, with this confident mentality, with all those crazy players?
I couldn't tell you who Diamantidis was. I couldn't tell you who Spanoulis was. I had no idea who these guys were. All I'm thinking is I'm gonna bust their ass in practice.
Not happening.
I've never told this story before. Diamantidis, every day we go to the gym at nighttime and shoot.
Really?
Every day. After when I was my second year, we would go to the gym every night.
Every night?
Almost every night. We would work and nobody knew about that.
Do you think that Diamantidis saw something differently in you to do this with you? Because obviously, he's a vet, he's a legend.
Maybe he did see. Maybe he needed somebody like that, and then so he really looked after me.
The way you approach the game, are you going to be a coach once you retire?
Oh.
Nick, welcome on the podcast. It's been a while since we were talking about this, so I'm happy. We're going to start with some rapid fire questions,
Okay.
2 propositions, and you just choose whatever you like more.
Perfect.
USA or Greece?
I was born USA. I was born in USA, raised in USA.
Panathinaikos or Fenerbahce?
Panathinaikos.
Athens or Monaco?
Athens.
Assist or steal?
Assist.
Mike James or Spanoulis?
I play with Mike more, so I'm gonna have to say with Mike.
Then this one is a little special. 4 propositions and you choose.
Okay.
Željko, Itudis, Pascual, Saras, and Pitino, so 5. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna have to say Obradovic because I feel like he taught me a lot about the European style of game, and it helped me throughout my career. But it's all very close.
High quality
coaches. Yes, I've been very lucky.
Nick, how did you become the greatest EuroLeague passer of all time?
I feel like I've always had a feel for seeing people. Ever since I was little, I felt like I knew the next thing that's happening on the court. I feel like I knew where someone was going to go. And, I've always had a great feel of the game like this. So I think that's one of the reasons. And I feel like I've played with a lot of great teammates. Okay. You got to play with good teammates to be able to make shots, let's say, or, play well with one another, like to know where they're going. Let's say like a guy like Gist or a guy like Mirotic or a guy like, I've had great feel, Mike. I've had great feel with these guys, and it's became a lot easier to, let's say, to get assists, to read the game and open things up.
Can you practice this individually, or this has to be with the guys all the time?
I feel like it's you're born with it. I feel This is what I believe, that, you have a great feel for the game. That is tough to be taught. Obviously you can teach a pick and roll, you can teach these kind of things to read the game. I feel like everybody is taught this, but I think there's something more that that a person has. A guy like Teodosic, it's very difficult to teach what he does, and I feel like we have a good feel for the game.
I feel like how you say assist is more of almost a God-given talent, a feel, but then you're also number 1 in steals, right? Steals is more. Is it different? Do you practice it? Is it more a hustle? Like, what is it different?
Instincts. I think steals is more instincts. You have I don't know how to explain it, but it's more like if a guy's gonna make a pass, that you're reading what his eyes are doing and things like this, and I don't know. I've never thought that I would be the steals person. I'd tell you that, but I think when my second year with Obradovic Barcelona series, I think that really made me feel like I was more of a defender when he matched me up with Navarro, and I became more of a, let's say, a defensive guy in people's eyes, and that made me want to play more defense, on the court.
Because when we think about defense, we think about 6'8", crazy wingspan.
Yes.
Not a point guard, with nothing out of the ordinary physically.
For sure. Crazy athletic,
Bro, you were such a pain against Monaco last year.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, you were such a pain. By the way, we recently saw the list of all EuroLeague 25, and your name wasn't there surprisingly, and even like your teammate Mike said this is like diabolical. Do you think you should be on this list?
100%. Obviously, I didn't make it a bigger deal, because all those guys on the list are great players and deserve it. But I think if you look at everything I've done, let's say in EuroLeague and accomplished, there's no way, in my opinion, that I should not be on that list. If you look at, let's say, points, EuroLeague, assists, steals, PIR, rebound. Like
Yes.
I think I'm top 15 in everything.
Final Four is
Final Four. EuroLeague. I think I'm top 15 in every stat possible. So I don't know how I can't be on the list, but I'm not the type of guy to ever talk about myself either. So I'm very happy with those guys making. And sometimes it's you just don't make it, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But for people who don't understand, like, who is making those lists?
I have no idea. I don't know, but
is it media's coaches? I doubt it's coaches, because coaches recognize your worth.
For me, I don't know, and
Okay.
I don't really. At the end of the day, it's not gonna ruin my day if I'm not on a top 25 EuroLeague list. But it definitely, when I saw it, I was very shocked, and
Really?
also a guy like Vesely too. Like if you look at his accomplishments,
Yes.
True.
We love Vesely.
like I don't know, a guy like Ginobili who's played 1 year in EuroLeague. Ginobili is the amazing player, but I don't know, for a EuroLeague top 25, NBA, he's obviously, but I don't know.
Does it hurt you, or you just?
No. At the end of the day, it is what it is. People, I think, know, what I've done in EuroLeague and respect me as a player, and but what to do?
Yeah.
What to do?
I want to go back at the beginning a little bit. So, you were born and raised in the U.S. Parents are Americans. And, you have this strange feeling that sometimes all the fans of Panathinaikos and stuff, they're convinced you're Greek. They speak to you in Greek. But you yourself, you feel more American, right? Because that's where you grew up.
I mean, I feel more American, obviously, because I grew up in the States since I was 18, 19 years old. Obviously, I would say now maybe I feel more Greek because I'm over here playing in Europe.
Yeah.
I've played at Panathinaikos for 7 years. I've played national team for 13 years or 14, I don't know. But like for me now, I feel more European.
Okay.
But when I was younger, I couldn't tell you, to be honest, where Greece was on the map or like who Panathinaikos was. So I think I've maybe changed a little bit on how I feel, things like this.
But what was your first contact with the Greek Federation or the Greek basketball back in the U.S.? How did that happen?
So a journalist named Regis came and watched me play in the Jordan All-American game in high school and saw my last name. And he went to my dad after the game and said, "Hey, does Nick have any bloodline in Greece? Because obviously my last name is Greek." And he goes, "Yes." Obviously my dad, which my dad's father is Greek. And he goes, "Yes, we are Greek, last name." And he goes, "Oh, okay. So let me go back and talk to, Mr. Kenyaris, who was a lawyer in the Federation at that time." And ever since then, I think I got my passport within like 5 months with all the paperwork and things like this. And I played for the younger national team 1 year. The worst thing I've ever done. Some of the teammates, it was my first time in Europe, so I didn't know what to expect. And the coach really didn't play me at all.
Was it jealousy, you think?
I feel a little bit because obviously I was an American kid coming over playing with, Greeks that have been together for so long. Obviously I'm friends now with some of the guys on the team, but at that point it was, but I told myself, I said, never again I'm coming to play for national.
I was this traumatizing.
That was, I said
Really?
I'm not gonna need this passport, I'm an NBA player, let's say.
This is the American mentality,
And I was like, Dad, come on, man, I don't need to go, to play again. And I've played every year, I think, since, except 1 or 2 years. But it's an honor to play, obviously, for the Greek national team, and I enjoy it. And I think my grandfather would be very proud.
Who was in that generation of
It
national
was
team?
like Bogris. Who else was it? Was it Athenaneu? It was a couple of guys. Obviously, Bogris is a great guy. I don't have a problem with Bogris. But like, it's just guys that that never made it to a higher team.
So maybe a bit frustrated when you're coming and you're balling.
Maybe, exactly. And obviously I don't hold anything against them, but the following year I played for the men's team and we got bronze medal.
Right away?
Yeah, we got bronze medal.
And you were how old?
I was 19, I believe.
Damn.
So.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You then played for Florida in the college.
Yep.
Florida Gators.
Florida Gators. How was that?
It was good. Obviously, it was a dream of mine, from being from Florida to play for Billy Donovan and the Gators. They won back-to-back national championships before I went.
was with Joakim Noah and Al Horford, right?
Yep, Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer,
Yes,
Torian
what a
Green.
team.
It was, one of the maybe best teams of all time.
Wow.
And then I came in with 6 new freshmen because they all left to go to the NBA. And it was tough, obviously, for Coach Donovan because, he's expecting 2 national championships. And then he's got a whole bunch of young guys that are coming, me, Chandler Parsons, Alex Tyus, Jay Lucas.
Yes.
So we had a good class, but we needed to grow, And we made 2 NIT tournaments. And then, things obviously didn't go well, and then that's when I decided to go, obviously, to Panathinaikos.
How is it to play in the NIT? Because for those who don't know, is when you don't make the March Madness.
Yes.
You play it's the second tournament. How does it feel like? Is it frustrating? Like you should be like, I want to be over with it and go home.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's when you're expected to make the NCAA tournament and then you make the NIT, it's like it's like shit. It's not where you want to be at. Let's say when you're University of Florida.
We were watching your stats before the podcast with Alex in Florida. You were killing it, man. Why, from there, you didn't, let's say, jump to the league right away? Why you choose Panathinaikos?
Because after my second year, I had a great second year, and I call my agent gets a phone call saying, hey, Panathinaikos wants to give you a 3-year deal. And they were giving me money that, like, let's say, a first rounder would make, where I was projected of, late first round.
Yeah.
And I said, why not go over there if they're, giving me this kind of money? My brother was there playing for Marusi, so I had someone there that I could actually, talk to and things like this. And I just decided to say, hey, I got drafted, but they knew I had already signed with Panathinaikos, and I made that step instead. Which
could you choose this? Like, how does it work? Like, you choose to, let's say, sign in Europe, but they have still your rights, or how does it work?
Yeah, so let's say I signed my contract with Panathinaikos, but the NBA teams know that I can't go to the NBA when they draft me. So they have to wait, let's say, until end of this contract, or if they want to buy me out. So let's say when Dallas bought my rights for Minnesota during the draft, they knew I couldn't come over now.
Interesting. You never interesting. You get drafted, and every kid has this big dream of like, okay, now I'm drafted, I'm gonna play in the league.
Yes.
It's crazy you choose this other path.
I know.
Especially
I wouldn't have expected it, to be honest, but it's tough to obviously it's tough to turn down that kind of money to when.
I spoke with Papa Petru and Dinos Mitoglou, also 2 other Greek that played in NCAA.
Yep.
And they both agreed that if you played mid-major, high major in the US, it's almost automatic that you get an offer from Panathinaikos or Olympiakos. It's true.
It's true, yes, because when I was playing, they were playing all the games on the TV in Greece, from Florida. So let's say Tudis was watching or Bradovic was watching. So I'm playing good. So they're like, hey man, maybe this could be the next future of the Greek teams. And so they brought me, and I didn't play my first year in Greece. Obviously, I came over, had no idea what to expect. I was thinking that, man, I'm going to be the man. I came from Florida, I'm balling, I'm like, shit, SEC, all, whatever, first team. And I'm like, they need me.
Yeah.
And Pat is like, my brother's like, Nick, you're coming to the best team in Europe. And I'm like, they need me, they need me.
Who's the point guard?
Diamantidis, Spanoulis, Jaskevicius.
All of them.
All of them on this team.
Jesus Christ.
On the first year. Drew Nicholas. So
what a team.
I couldn't tell you who Diamantidis was. I couldn't tell you who Spanoulis was. I had no idea who these guys were. All I'm thinking is I'm going to bust their ass in practice.
Not happen.
Bradovic is going to have to play me.
And Željko was the coach.
Yes. And I didn't play at all. I only played when we were up 20, but I showed what I could do in practice. I showed, that. But I didn't expect, coming in not to play.
How was it, to come in, with this confident mentality as a Greek American, with all those crazy players? Were you getting, the rookie treatment a little bit?
I was, for sure, because I had also Pekovic. Pekovic would, and Mike Batiste. They messed with me every day. Saras I hated, because Saras would give me the young treatment, so he would destroy me and Shermandini a lot. Fotis, I had a bunch of great guys, but they definitely killed me.
Humbling experience.
Humbling.
And how was it, Željko, man? Like you as a foreign young American coming to Pana, having Željko as a coach.
Yeah, tough. It was tough. I didn't know if I could last. After the first year, I was like, called my dad on the phone like, Dad, I don't know if I can do this anymore, man. This is tough. Grinding, everything. But after that, man, after I learned and actually like took it all in and learned from these guys, it was easy for me.
What was your craziest experience with Željko?
I've never told this story before, but they're having film, and it's my first year, and I go out with Mike Batiste and Drew Nicholas one night, and we're watching film next day. I didn't play, so my head is against the wall, and Mike Batiste is here, and Atudis is doing the film, and Atudis, if you don't know Atudis, he filmed for 45 minutes, an hour, if we lose or whatever. So all of a sudden, I rest my head against the wall, and I fall asleep.
Damn.
And I could not get up. I don't know what happened, but Mike is trying to hit me. And next thing I know, Atudis sees me and goes, "Coach, I can't do this film anymore. I stayed up all night doing this, and all of a sudden, like I wake up with, if Obradovic, he has the keys. So he shakes the keys, and I wake up to the keys, and he looks at me like,
oh my God,
wanted to kill me. And I had the best practice ever that day, but it didn't help. And maybe I was, suspended for one game or something. But after this, I don't think I've ever even closed my eyes in a film.
PTSD.
It was tough because I had all these veterans. I'm 20 years old, and who am I, to go to sleep and film? And that was the worst experience of my career, for sure.
For sure, you learn from it because now you're seen as this crazy leader, showing an example. So that's one of the ways.
I learned. I took some steps to grow, but I learned.
You think that he was the one coach that brought you on the next step?
He did. I give him, every time I see him too, I tell him the same thing. First year onto my second year, he put me in a great situation to succeed. Playing, reading the game, pick and roll, spacing wise. Coming from Florida, I had no idea even how to play a pick and roll. So I learned, from him. I learned from Diamantidis and these guys, and they taught me a lot, about like the European style and stuff.
So yeah, after Panathinaikos, before joining the NBA, you went to Lokomotiv, Cuban, and this is where you really personal level, you took it to the next step. You won the Euro Cup MVP. Like, what changed for you in that year?
It was basically my team. I came into this team with a lot of confidence. Obviously, I had 2 good years in Panathinaikos. And, we had a very good team. I came there because I said, man, this team's Euro Cup. They really want to win. They have, a bunch of good guys. They brought Maric. They brought Derek Brown his first year. We had Calathes, and I said, man, we got a good chance to win, and I think it's a good step for me if we win, maybe I'll be able to get to go to the NBA. And I had a great year. We ended up winning it, and it was good. It was tough, obviously, to be in Krasnodar from Athens. I had no idea what Krasnodar was either.
Even worse than coming from the US to Europe. Now you go all the way
to Krasnodar,
there.
exactly.
Jesus.
And they came with a big offer, and at that point, Panathinaikos wasn't really. They didn't know what to expect because it was when Obradovic left. Everyone ended up leaving.
They couldn't match the offer.
Yes, and I did it, and it was a great decision that I made to take that step. And I'm very grateful to obviously play for Lokomotiv, so it was good.
How did daily life look like in Krasnodar?
It wasn't Athens, I'll tell you that much. It wasn't Athens. The only good thing was it didn't snow so much. I think it snowed for like 2 weeks, but because it's in South Russia. But the traveling, I think I was in 75% in the airports the whole time. We would take a connecting to Moscow, and we would sit there for 4 hours waiting.
They didn't charter in Krasnodar?
We charted for the Euro Cup games, but for the Russian League, mostly not, no.
Crazy.
Not.
So yeah, after this, you decide to join the Memphis Grizzlies, and I would say it was a 2-sided year. Of course, you won 1 month, like you were considered a rookie, of course, when you were an experienced player, but 1 month, you win Rookie of the Month, playing great. And then there's like a few months later, this scandal where you get suspended 20 games. How were you navigating this period,
It was tough. Obviously, I've never been in that situation before. Obviously, I took something, from my hair that I didn't know was supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah. It was, but, I had something in it. But NBA was great. If I probably had to do it again, I should have stayed for 1 more year because they picked up my qualifying offer. But instead, I went to Panathinaikos to sign a big deal. But I had a great veteran guys. I had great time there. that I got to play. I was backup point guard for Mike Conley. So it was good. It was a good experience.
It was with Marc Gasol
and Zach Randolph.
Zebo. You know, that's one of my favorite players. You know, the left hook, whatever.
He's a beast.
Unbelievable.
Beast. Probably the most least athletic guy, but he's going to get you 20 and 10 every night.
Yeah, you know,
like, he's a bucket.
Over.
Bucket.
Did you see the highlights of Zebo?
Yeah. How was he off the court?
Even better guy.
Really?
Even better guy. Little bro. Always call me little bro. Took me out places. You know, for me, Marc Gasol, Tayshaun Prince, and Mike Conley went to dinner every road trip.
Nice.
John Lure.
You could tell this was a united team.
Yeah, it was, man. They were really a team, and it was fun. I had a great time. There.
But can you just guide us through what happened with this thing with your hair? Like, what was like the problem?
It was something chemical. It was like a thing in it that was like considered as like a steroid.
Okay.
And that's illegal in the NBA, let's say.
Okay.
And I get a phone call before the playoffs that, hey, you're banned for 25 games, and I'm like, for what? And they said what I took is illegal for illegal substance in there.
It's like random drug test.
Random drug test.
And you didn't even expect to be.
No, come on.
Yeah.
I would never.
And couldn't you like explain it to them? Like, okay.
I can, but it's my fault for taking it, let's say. So it's not like it's, people can say all the time, like, I meant to do it on accident, blah, blah, but at the end of the day, it's, I didn't ask, so it was stupid,
When you get banned 25 days, how does it, 25 games, sorry. How does it work? You don't get paid, or?
Oh yeah, you don't get paid, and so you obviously wait. So I missed the playoff time, I was playing amazing at that time.
It's like just cut you right in there.
Yep, and then I had to wait till the following year, 12 games, before the season started.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So this is why you decided to go to Panathinaikos?
No, actually, I played that year out.
Okay.
I played that year out, and then they picked up my qualifying offer for my third year, and I said, I'll just go to Panathinaikos because they're offering me a big deal for 3 years.
Now, looking back at all this, like, would you have done it differently, or?
It's tough to say that, to do it different. Obviously, I think I wish I gave it one more year when they picked up my qualifying offer, because I think I was proving myself to be able to be obviously NBA player. But at the end of the day, I'm very happy with my decisions and stuff.
I mean, we see that even those really special players like you or Teodosic, that everyone says, yeah, but he's not has the NBA style. But yet, Teodosic went and showed out with the Clippers. Yep. You played great. I think, you're so different that you bring something that no one else can bring.
Yeah.
So,
no, we bring different things, and like I said, obviously, I wish I gave it my third year, but it is what it is.
Did you choose because you said also after Florida you went to Pana for the offer? Was, let's say, money always the number one consideration?
It wasn't always the number one consideration. At that time in college, for sure it was, because obviously I came from college. I go to college to play professional basketball, right?
Yeah.
And, they're giving me a guarantee, this kind of money.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same as, let's say, if you be a first rounder in the tax situation, tax-wise. And so I had a talk with my dad, and, he said, basically, what do you want to do? You want to try the NBA, which is not, let's say, a guarantee that you're going to be a first rounder, or take the guarantee offer.
Yeah.
And I said, I think it's better to take the guarantee offer. And if I'm an NBA player, they'll see me. I'll come back and prove myself.
This is something that so many, I think people don't understand. Gershon did the same. He went to China for the money because the career is so short that you got to maximize it out.
Exactly.
So,
it's only a limited amount of years you play.
For real.
But, so far you speak a lot about your father. It seems like he's advising you a lot. You're very close to him. What's your relationship with him?
He's been my coach my whole life, ever since growing up, So he's coached me, my brothers, and obviously I'm very close with him. Very close.
I remember I saw some footage of some pickup runs, pro AM runs with you, and it was with a white chocolate.
With J. Will, yep.
Tell me about those runs. Like, what's crazy about this?
It's good because in summertimes, we always used to just, all the people from Orlando, Austin Rivers, Chandler Parsons, all these guys, we play pickup and we all play together. So we have a good time, man. We play against.
Did you play pickup with Mike? Mike James?
Yeah. I don't know.
He's crazy on pickup.
Yeah, the stuff that he does is impressive. I've not ever played with Mike pickup, no. But yeah, I see his highlights on, and Mike has a package for sure.
Talking about him, what's your relationship with Mike? Because we always see you talking a lot about him in the interviews.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
everything.
Oh, we're very close. Ever since he came to Panathinaikos, we've had a great feel for each other, obviously off the court and on the court. We hang out, dinners and stuff like that, and we've always had a great relationship. So I feel like he's one of my, closest guys in Europe.
Yeah.
So,
We had him on the podcast earlier this year, and he said that DPG got mad at him because he was going out every single night. Mike James is a wild guy.
Mike's wild. Mike is definitely wild. He definitely can get a little too much, but I mean, he shows it on the court that he plays. So if you play on the court that you show what you can do, I mean, if going out doesn't affect you, I mean, that's it, So maybe he does go out a little too much, but it doesn't affect him what he shows on the court. So I think it's give and take,
Do you think that he's misunderstood sometimes?
I think he's misunderstood for sure. I think he definitely is misunderstood, especially if you don't know him. But if you know him, I feel like you understand, who he is and what kind of player he is and what kind of person he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the outside is probably as different than what, let's say, his teammates see.
Yeah, it's funny. We have also like always these little inspirational questions, where we ask like the guests at the end of the podcast, like, okay, what they want to be remembered for and everything. And Mike is like, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll be dead anyway, so who cares?
It's such a fun answer.
But yeah, coming back to it, after you came back to Memphis to Panathinaikos, obviously it turns out to be a good decision. You win quickly the EuroLeague, first time in 2011, I believe. What was special that year?
It was 2011 was special because it was obviously my second year, and it was when Spanoulis went to Olympiacos, so they didn't know what to expect, how we were going to be. And, we knew we had a good team, but we didn't know if we were, let's say, EuroLeague title contenders. And I think we clicked at the right time. We played amazing basketball. And we just, when you see teams that win EuroLeague, you got to play your best basketball at the end of the season. It doesn't really matter, in the beginning. And we barely made, let's say, top 16 because it was different back then.
Yeah.
And we matched up with Barcelona. We ended up beating them when they had home court advantage, which they were the favorite. And then we went to the Final Four. We were already too confident, and we knew that we had a chance.
How was the parade back in Athens?
It was wild.
Wow, man.
One of the
Greek
best experiences I've ever had. Even in the game, the final game was probably the most craziest game I've been because it was yellow, half green. So we played Maccabi, and it was sold out. I was like,
And I feel like, you saying that, it was the year that Spanoulis switched and went to Olympiacos, and we saw with the final that just happened how big this rivalry is. I'm sure that the fans of Panathinaikos were even happier when you won.
For
just
sure.
Showing them like we don't need.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We don't
whatever.
need them. We got who we are. So
You talk about it with Spanoulis a little bit, or
I do, but he won back to back right after. So
Okay.
after we won first,
You got the first one.
They won 2 in a row. So I can't really say much, but we've talked about it for sure plenty of times.
You was, I think, let's say the strongest American that plays for the national team, and with the biggest relationship with the country. Can you still feel some patriotism when you wear the Greece jersey, or is it like, okay, you kind of play to play?
No, I feel Greek.
Okay.
Right now, I feel like I'm 100%, putting that jersey on because I feel like I've put the time and the sweat, the blood every summer, play with these guys, and I think that the other guys, the Greek guys, let's say, know that they respect me enough to say that I'm Greek. And no, it's an honor to put on the jersey, and I feel blessed. I feel like I'm wearing it for my grandfather.
Okay.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, so it's good. I don't just do it just to go and have my summer to play with Giannis. I don't know.
How's it to play with him?
It's amazing. He's a great guy. Even better off the court, but works every day, and you wouldn't expect him being, let's say, the top 3 player in the world. How he acts, he's a clown. He's one of us, he really is. He's hilarious, and he's great to play with, and he's not, let's say, how do you call it, full of himself. Let's say like oh, you can't sit with me. Like
Not at all.
he's the first guy eating
So nice, man.
McDonald's or you know, the Bucks people are here, like, hey, Nick, you know, go get some treatment with the Bucks guys. You know, I'll wait, you know.
Cool.
Like this kind of stuff.
You got
So,
funny jokes too.
yeah, he's a clown. He's a clown for sure.
Outside of basketball, what is Nick Calathes doing?
Well, I'm hanging with my son. Off season, I'm spending as much time as possible with him.
He bowls?
Luke, he
There you
kills
go.
it.
Good coach right here.
He's a beast. So I spend all the time with him. I go on some vacations in the off season, but mostly just chill at home. I don't do much other than just chill, hang out by the pool, relax. I love playing golf. So.
Man, we got to play.
You play?
I'm waiting for a partner, but he cannot play for shit. So
Okay, let's go, man. I'm with you. I'm fine. I mean, I've been looking for someone to play also.
Cool, let's
so
go.
Let's
But
do it.
Diamantidis plays also, no?
He's bullshitting. He says he plays, but I ask him every time. And
Okay, but I'm not like this good. Like,
I'm not
okay.
good either. No, I
Alright.
go on the course, I drink, and then
So what are we
I play.
betting?
Let's bet dinner next time.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Tell the people that are watching, what is it like to be a basketball player living in Monaco? Because Monaco, a lot of people hear stories, but
Yeah.
what is it really like living in Monaco?
To be honest, it's amazing here. It's relaxing. Amazing place to live. I mean, really no traffic. Great restaurants. The people. Monaco is like a bubble. It has a thing, but then you also have other stuff on the outside that you can go to. For me, it's one of the best places to live, it's nice. Obviously, you wish that you could play in front of more fans, let's say, the fan base. They have great fans, but they don't have an arena like, let's say, Panathinaikos or this kind of arena. But, you go to away games and you get that still effect. But it's good. And the owner is an amazing guy. President is unbelievable, man. I've never been...
Passionate, right?
I've never been to a person like that's so passionate, and he feels like you're like his family.
Nice.
Like when I came, I've never sat down and ate with a president of any teams I've had.
Even
Yeah,
DPG?
he does that?
DPG never. DPG one time when we were talking about my contract extension.
He knows how
In
to
the
do
back
it.
office?
No, he took me to a souvlaki spot.
Ooh, okay.
But with this president, man, invited me to his house. You really believe that he's part of your family, that he sees you as a son, and it's amazing. Like every time you're on the court, you want to obviously, prove him, that hey,
Nice,
man, I'm
man.
glad you're here, So
I'm sure this is cool as a player to have someone that's running the show that believes in you so much, right?
for sure, man,
I feel like he
passionate.
cares about the players, really.
Really does. He does. He genuinely cares, and each of us know that hey, this guy really feels something for us as a person, not just hey, this guy wins a game, loses a game. I have a bad game. He grabs me by the head like, hey Nick, it's okay. But he really is a amazing guy.
Do you believe that sports in general, like professional sports, need more of this human touch rather than being strictly business like in the NBA and stuff?
I think you do. I think because you feel like you're a family, and I feel like if your team is closer, if you as a team, if you're closer, and obviously as the whole team, you're closer, that you do even better on the court, and you do better off the court. And I think it's great to have this, So, no, he's amazing. He's a good guy.
Speaking about Monaco, so last year you were playing in Fenerbahce. I still remember those 2 shots you hit, People are saying Nick can shoot. Obviously, game 5 in overtime, you make to beat Monaco. And then, what happens when you sign in Monaco and then you lose the EuroLeague Finals against your past team? Like, how do you feel?
It hurts. It hurt for sure. It was tough because, obviously coming from there, I know all the guys. I know everything about them. It sucked that, we lost the final because I thought, to be honest, that we were one of the best teams. And I thought it was 50-50 this game. I thought anybody can beat anybody. And, we just didn't get enough things right on the court, and obviously those guys are all my friends. Happy for them, but I wish.
Crazy defense though.
Yeah, they play great defense, and they play good at the right time also.
Yeah.
And I thought we played good at the right time, and it was just they deserved it more at that point.
But no regrets coming to Monaco?
No regrets. No regrets. I obviously the only regret I have is obviously being hurt most of the season. Because I thought I could help. During the season a lot more, and obviously in the Final Four.
How would you describe your season?
Mostly down, probably, because obviously I wasn't, healthy, and it's the first time in my career that I've actually been injured. And, for most of the games, I haven't really got a rhythm. I couldn't, feel the guys playing with these new guys that I have, let's say preseason, the first games of the season. I as a point guard, I get to know how everyone plays and stuff like that. So when I'm, let's say, out for 3 months and I come back and they don't really know how I play and I don't know how they play. So and then I get injured again, let's say. But I feel like that's the most that sucks, to not be able to show what I can do and help the team as much as I could.
I'm curious to know, there's this young point guard on the rise, Strazel, that, is coming and every year is getting better. What's your relationship with him? It can be both, you're happy for him, but yet, okay, I'm still I can try, I'm at the top of my form.
Yes.
And he's here, he grew a lot while you were injured. How do you deal with this?
No, he stepped up, obviously, when I'm out, he stepped up and earned, him playing well. And obviously I'm happy for him. He's a great kid, has a lot of passion, and I think he could be the future of this team for sure. He has that kind of level of playing, and he showed it. He showed big moments like this, and at that point you gotta be happy. As much as I'm I wish I'm out there, to help. I couldn't help at that time, and he stepped up and played great basketball, and I think he has a big future.
Does he ask you some stuff how do I do this pass, that?
He does. He does ask me things during the game and things like this, and I try to help as best as possible. But he's got a great feel. Obviously he can learn some things, but he'll get there.
He's confident,
yes.
I feel like this runs in the point guards of Monaco, just being extra confident.
Sure, yeah, they're definitely him, Ellie, and Mike are. Their confidence is one of a kind.
I know Coach Spanoulis sometimes has a lot of work to do, to keep everything under control.
For sure, everything's under control, yeah. But
Nick, I would like to speak about someone that you mentioned before, Saras. He was your teammate and became your coach. And I saw an interview extract where, I think it was written or video, I don't remember, where you said something like, misquote me if I'm wrong, that he didn't give you guys enough freedom to express yourself.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about this period?
I think during the Barcelona days, his first year, second year, I think he wanted to control a lot, to control, let's say, being plays called, being everything. And I think, we had a roster that we had so many good players that we could have played more free and let it flow more. And I don't know if he would tell you the same, but as I can see in Fenerbahce and how he was with Fenerbahce with me last year, for me, he changed completely. And I think maybe that was the system in Zalgiris, that he felt like he needed to control more everything going on.
Yeah.
But, for me, he's changed so much. And obviously we were very successful in Barcelona, so you can't really let's say that he was, making us worse or something like this. But, I feel like at that time that he could have let us play a little more free.
Did you have any issues with him at your time in Barcelona?
No, people said that we got into fights, that we got in. I would text him what's going on, people saying that, but we never had any issues, never had any arguments, nothing. And obviously we're still great friends. And he's one of the best coaches of IQ I've ever had.
Really?
Oh, his knowledge of the game and his ATOs and all this. Anyone that's played for him will tell you that he's elite at these kind of things.
But very demanding.
He's demanding.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, you respect, because let's say if you go to another team and, it's a shit show, you would want a coach that's more demanding than to, let's say, everything that's happening that, it's not controlled, So me and Mirotic were actually talking about this and saying that, our teams were so, good and normal, to have in Barcelona.
The way you approach the game, are you going to be a coach once you retire?
I think so. I think I'd be good. I think I'd be good at it.
I think so as well.
I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do, but it's one of the things that I have in my mind.
So, what type of coach you think about being? This crazy guy, more laid back,
I'd be the middle, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more middle of, let's say, Saras, and who's a coach that's laid back?
It's got to be a Spanish guy somewhere where it's hot.
Exactly.
Who's laid back in Europe? That's a good question.
That's a good question. I'm trying to
Let's think about it, because for me, like, the coaches are insane in Europe.
Yeah,
Like, in EuroLeague.
they're definitely different for sure.
Do you agree
Maybe Red Star.
Sfairopoulos.
We had them.
Maybe.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable person.
Great coach, great person, but I feel like he's laid back. He's not going to be the guy that's going to curse you out, let's say, or yell at you. It doesn't seem like watching. And maybe I'll be in the middle of him and Saras.
Cool. We say that, the NBA is a players' league and the EuroLeague is a coaches' league. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Why?
NBA is because the NBA is controlled by the players. Like, how much money they make, how much, they're the show. I feel like Europe it's more of a team surrounded. The players and the coaches are, let's say, equal. Like, it's more, I don't know. It's just how it's always been for me for some reason here.
Okay.
But NBA, if you're the best player, you can get the head coach fired. Here, you can't.
Yeah. Do you
Here
think that the coaches are overdoing it sometimes here in Europe?
For sure, they put on a show. I mean, they like to, 18,000 people. They put on the show on the side.
I have one in mind right now.
It's crazy.
They put on a show.
Crazy.
Ataman also has his share of fun this year.
For sure, man. They put on a show, but it's great. I mean, their passion. I think they're more passionate, than, let's say, NBA coaches. But maybe it's obviously also the surroundings. You get more passion when you hear 18,000 people chanting and things like this.
Yeah.
So. It's good. It's okay.
Especially Ataman, I saw a fun picture. They put him as a best defender of the year because of his special technical.
Yes.
On fast break, he steps on the court.
That's crazy. They got to change that.
Right. I mean, but how can you change it? Because they stop and they give him a take. Like, what would you do differently?
Like if maybe let the fast break go and then give him a take after.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't stop a fast because it's smart. Like, it's smart.
Crazy. Yeah.
Because he sees a player down the floor and he just gets on throws and like they have a layup and all of a sudden it's 10. And they can't score.
Yeah.
Nick, you had Saras as a teammate and then as a coach. Is it difficult for you to like shift from having your kind of friend as being your coach?
I think the first 3 months in Barcelona was very difficult for us because we didn't know like how to interact, because I'm used to Saras and Panathinaikos where we go on vacations to Dubai and we drink together, we have fun and you're teammates, you go out, you do these things, and then you're a coach and you really don't have that you can't have that relationship because it's coach player and which is understandable. So I think the first 4 months of Barcelona, it was difficult to adapt. But then we started, being normal and things like that.
And I heard some wild stories about this guy in particular. Like, he knows how to party.
Oh, he'll drink you under the table for sure. You can't hang with him and alcohol. But
the Lithuanians, man, they're crazy.
The Lithuanians are crazy, and he's definitely a great time though.
Yeah.
If you go out with him, he's a great time.
I want to come back, to your career. Obviously, you're the only player ever to make 4 different Final Fours with 4 different teams, and you're 1-2 in the finals. How does that make you feel? Like thinking you could have maybe have 3 EuroLeague titles.
Yeah.
Will you have any regrets once you retire?
I mean, I won't have any regrets. Obviously, I've been very blessed to play with amazing clubs and had opportunities to play with, these teams. And I think the one final would be against Barcelona, where I got injured in the semis. When we had Pau, Corey, Mirotic, and all of them. And I think we had the best team. When FS won their first title, I think we were clearly the best team all season. And I think the injury hurt because I wasn't myself and I didn't, play. And, they're used to me playing the whole season with them. And that was one that I believe that we would have won. But other than that, when you get to the Final Four, it's one game. You have good games and bad games. And, obviously I wish I had a better record in the Final Four, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm very blessed to even be there. And
still have time to change that.
We still got time. I need to get one more.
I have a little inspirational question I want to ask you. So, you came in the you came in Europe as seen as the American guy, always having to prove, you're not a foreigner. And because of your hard work and results, you show like you belong. What advice would you give, to those kids that are seen as underdog, maybe?
Just don't give up. Obviously, you work in the gym, work harder than everybody else that has worked. For me, I believe finding a role model, finding an older guy. Diamantidis, every day, we go to the gym at nighttime and shoot.
Really?
Every day. After when I was my second year, we would go to the gym every night and shoot together.
After practice, or you went home and went back to the gym?
We went home and back to the gym.
Every night?
Almost every night. And we would work, and nobody knew about that. But for me to, have a guy like him shoot with me, which I'm a nobody, my first year, second year, and, him working out, it gives me confidence, and it gave me more confidence to learn and know that this guy, hey, has my back. And I feel like I gained as a player more and more and learned. And so I think a big thing is to role model and never give up on like your dream. I mean, people say that, you're non-athletic, you can't shoot, you can't pass, you can't do that, but you can prove everybody wrong and if you have confidence,
That's what you did, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Do you think that Diamantidis saw something differently in you to do this with you? Because obviously, I mean, he's a vet, he's a legend. He wouldn't, let's say, sacrifice his extra time for,
Yes, maybe he did see. Maybe he saw something. He saw, when he was younger, to maybe he needed somebody like that, and then so he really looked after me. And obviously, he's not the talkative guy. He barely talks.
Yeah.
He does this kind of stuff. He shows on the court, but he's always helped me. Do that when I was younger.
You asked him for that, or how did it went?
To be honest, I don't remember exactly how. I think, I saw him going at night times in the gym, and I asked, hey, can I join you? And every time I would text him, like, hey, let's do it, and ever since I started shooting with him, I would text him,
But is it true now that the new generation of basketball players, they're sometimes they need more for the lifestyle rather than the actual grind and stuff?
100%. 100% that it's different generations now. Now it's about what you wear, how you act on the court, how cool you are to make a three-pointer. It's different game, different, and you see it a lot. But there's some people that stay with it, stay with it. But now it's how cool do I look?
Yeah.
How cool are my shoes? And it wasn't like that with, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We were fucking grinding,
And you add the NIL deals for the US, and they lose the concept of reality, I feel, with this.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Now you have an 18-year-old getting paid, $4 million. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, good for Calathes Jr., I guess.
Exactly.
Let's go,
we gotta grind in the gym.
That's a good impact.
I like that.
The grind.
Okay, so we always finish our podcast with this one question. Once you leave this earth, how do you want to be remembered for?
Just a good person. Obviously, a great father. And just a good person that, tried to live the right way, do the right things, and, being around, being a good person, friend-wise, human, and that's it.
Thanks, man. I'm really glad to almost call you as a friend, because you're a great person and people deserve to see that. So
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.